This tutorial is designed to familiarize you with the Practice Partner software that came with your electronic medical records book in Health Information and Compliance. Once you insert the CD, it may auto-run, but if it does not, you can start it automatically from your computer. One problem that you may run into I'm going to demonstrate now. Double-clicking on the McGraw-Hill icon will open a web page. Unfortunately, it will continue to try to connect, but will be unable to. Simply close this window and open your web browser, whichever you use. Go back to your computer and double-click on the McGraw-Hill icon again. This is the screen you should see once it's installed successfully. Before we begin, please turn to page 214 in the Electronic Medical Records textbook. This is the beginning of the Your Turn exercises that you will use for this assignment. There are 10 assignments in all which match with each of these activities in the right-hand list. The tutorials in the left-hand list are optional. You do not have to watch them, but they may help you in the activities. Let's look at Activity 1 together. On page 214, in Your Turn exercise number 1, you can see the instructions say double-click Activity 1 on the CD menu and follow the on-screen instructions. Once you've seen the on-screen instructions, you'll be able to answer the questions listed below. Unfortunately, the on-screen instructions aren't very clear, so let's take a look at Activity 1. If any pop-ups come in to view, just click OK or ignore them. The scroll bar at the bottom will continue to move. You can pause it by clicking pause, and you can also move it backwards and forwards. The other button that may be helpful is the menu button. This will take you back to that list where we just saw all of the activities. Notice up here is the toolbar for your practice partner. There's also messages, lab reviews, note reviews, to-do lists. We don't know what to do because, as you noticed, there's no on-screen instructions. Let's let the scroll bar move, and right up here in the upper right-hand corner, a hint button is going to appear. If you put your mouse over top of that hint button, it'll tell you what to do. Click the patient button on the toolbar. You may have to wait another moment or two, but the hint button will reappear. Click in the last name text box. It may be kind of tedious, but we will get through the exercise. Enter BRO in the last name box and then press enter. There's our hint button again. Click the OK button. Now that we have our information, our scroll bar is going to continue to move. It may or may not stop, but this is the final screen, so let's stop it anyway. There's no more hint button that'll appear. As you work through these exercises, once you think you're to the end, if you can't answer the questions that are listed, let this scroll bar continue and find out to be sure if the hint button is going to appear or not. You can always move this scroll bar back if need be. Alright, let's look at our questions. Which patient's name appears at the top of the list of patients? Well, we already have one patient in front of us. Maybe we should back up just a little bit to look at that patient list. Joe Brown. The next question is, what is the patient's date of birth? We can tell by this list right here, 10/18/1954. But we also know that moving forward, we see Joe Brown's entire demographic information. Date of birth, 10/18/1954. We've been able to answer the questions. Now we can go back to the main menu. Let's take a look at Activity 2. We won't do this whole one through, but just so you're familiar with one more activity. Clicking on Activity 2, again we see our scroll bar moving, so we know we just have to be patient and wait for the screen to appear. Once the screen is up, we have to wait for the hint button to tell us what to do next. You don't need to click on the hint button, you just need to put your mouse over top of it. Click the chart button. Again, we wait. Click in the last name box. enter STE, and then press enter. Okay, and so forth. Our scroll bar is going to continue to move, and we can always go back to the menu. We can always move it backwards and forwards. There's the hint button again, and we need to click the OK button to select Richard Stein. The question asks us how many folders there are. All you need to do is count them up, but remember, just because a folder isn't active doesn't mean it's not a folder in his chart. You'll continue the rest of the exercises in the same manner. Please let your instructor know if you have any specific questions.